Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Dress and Drinks by the Costume Society of America. I'm Leon Weavers. I teach at Loyola Marymount University. I'm a professor of costume design. I'd like to welcome everyone today to the Dress and Drinks webinar in our series Conversations on Dress. And with that, I would like to introduce, and I'm super excited, our guest today. Please welcome to Dress and Drinks, Laura Beacom, a curator of collections at Museo de las Americas in Denver, Colorado. Before taking on this role, Laura established a close understanding of the collection through interning and volunteering with the museum. In addition to her history with Museo, Laura gained her BFA in painting from Metropolitan State University and worked with the Denver Art Museum. When the position of curator of collections became available, her experience in exhibitions and her intimate knowledge of Museo's collections made her a great fit. Acting as the collections manager, she researches, documents, and houses over 4,500 objects. And these objects include textiles, the costumes of Latin America. In addition to knowing the intricacies of these objects, she also is responsible for loans, donations, and the contents of temporary exhibits at Museo. Um, our cocktail for the evening is the Mezcal Sour. And as always, the ever diligent Anne Wass has provided a delightful alcohol-free alternative, the Ritual Lime Espumosa. And Anne, kudos on the title. I really love that. With that, everyone, please welcome Laura. Laura, I'm so excited to talk with you today. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this. And thank you for agreeing to be on Dress and Drinks and to talk about Museo's collection. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. I'm thrilled.
Awesome. So why don't we just dive right in, and I will ask questions along the way. I have a little cocktail poured here ready to go, let's hop to it because I know that you have lots to share.
Yeah, let's do it. So our collection ranges all the way from the tip of South America all the way up through Latin America, South America, Mesoamerica, Southwest United States, the Caribbean, and the Denver region, because we have a lot of Latinx and Chicanx here in the Denver area. So I just thought I'd start in South America with Peru. The indigenous people of Peru dress mostly in wool. They live in the high Andes. So we have these little dolls that shows their whole outfits. And then we have the Montero, which is their skirt. Sorry, I'm just gonna move this window. And the Polera, which is their the Polera, which is their skirt, and the Montero, which is their hat. The the garments that they wear are regional, so you can tell what area or what village or community a person is from by the way that their garment is and the designs and colors that they use on their garment. And they dress mostly in sheep wool now, but traditionally it's been alpaca and a little bit of llama wool also. So, and they also make their garments from the natural fibers in the area.
I love those dolls. Those are gorgeous.
Yes. I like this little poncho because it's a poncho that's has alpacas on it and it's made out of alpaca wool. It's very soft to the touch. um, And then next to it we have this manta, which is also it's like a smaller poncho that's worn in the Andes. And again, these are all alpaca wool. So, oh, I love this slide because the people of the Andes, the ancient peoples of the Andes, they mastered textiles before ceramics. So this kind of demonstrates that this remnant of a textile here has the same pattern that this ceramics has on it. So they actually decorated their ceramics after their textile motifs, not vice versa, which is the more typical way. um, this is an Otovelenia from Ecuador. They're the traditional garb there with the blue flowers and the embroidery. It's all on cotton. And they're worn with very tight skirts.
I love how flat that is. You can see the simple construction of it. That's essentially the T-shaped version of it. That's really excellent.
Yeah. Most of the original textiles that they are embroidering on, they're weaving themselves. So they're weaving these cotton garments on backstrap looms. So they just come in one like straight rectangular piece of fabric, and then they're changed into the different forms. So now we're on to peels. These are mostly from Guatemala. These are nattle. I'm sorry, can't see my notes for my pronunciation, but these are basically Maya peels. And um, again, just like the indigenous people of the Andes, they all have their own color scheme, their own motifs, their own designs. The huipiles are actually custom made per person. So as the person wears their huipil, they're wearing their own like set of personal iconography and also their like origin story, along with a lot of Mayan cosmology. So,
Oh,
and I
wow.
just
I did not
yeah.
know that. That's fascinating.
Yeah, they're highly individualized,
Yeah.
and again they weave these the white cotton on a backstrap loom before they then embroider the or brocade the designs on the top.
I was gonna ask, is that embroidered or is that part of the weave and what that is? That's so interesting. And it looks like it's like narrow pieces that are sewn together, so it's embroidered. I can see the seams from the center square to the shoulder pieces once. So yeah.
Exactly. So, and like I said, all the different communities and villages have their own color scheme and motif. So here's another one, and I have some of them listed from where they're from, but these are two diagrams of how the wheat peels are put together traditionally with those two. Like I said, they just weave the rectangular pieces of textile. So, um, hmm.
So vibrant, that color. Wow.
Um, so this has a bunch of animals on it. This is actually a tiger. These wood peels they're called bleeding wheat peels because the dye in the silk um, bleeds out onto the cotton fabric. And so they kind of have a narrative of their own. When the women liked the bleeding wheat peels because of it showed that they were wearing expensive silk. So it was kind of like a fashionable thing, but also because the Spanish forced the indigenous people to wear white, it was a way of them like reclaiming their natural um like I'm not sure. It was a way for them to reclaim their identity.
Yeah.
Um
So the
by like
embroidery,
having the dye like bleach having the dye stain the white cotton.
that's fascinating. So the I have a question. So the embroidery floss or the embroidery thread is actually silk, not wool.
On
Wow.
these ones, yes. On these particular
Okay.
ones, yes. Although just on all the garments, it runs from like natural fibers from in antiquity all the way through polyester. They still make peels in contemporary fabrics. So
And when is this wheat peel from?
I'm sorry, they are all from Guatemala. Most of them are from Guatemala.
Oh, I'm sorry. What time period?
Most of our repeals are from the mid 20th century, or
Mm.
sorry, the mid 20th century, the 1950s, the 1940s through like the 1960s is when most of our collection came from. So, here's another repeal. I just have a picture of a backstrap loom, so that you can see how it works. It's very
Thank you.
old. I've
That'd be
been
great.
using it for about 3,000 years. So,
That's
um,
amazing.
yeah. And then just more wheat peel designs. Like I said, you can tell what area they're from. So I just wanted to show you the variety of the colors and the designs and things because they're beautiful. We have about 100 wheat peels in our collection.
Oh, wow.
So um, this one again, they weave the base of this garment on a backstrap loom first before they even embroider it. So it represents like hundreds of hours of labor. It's all made by hand. Um, this one I just wanted to show you. I just made a list of where some of the pigments came from. So
That's
you can see
fantastic.
like just where some of the materials are gathered from.
I am
Um,
amazed at the vibrancy of these colors and the whole range of them. I mean, this blue is just astonishing.
yeah. So, and a lot of them are so thin they feel like gauze or something, and a lot of them are very thick and they're very coarse and have a heavy weight to them. So they're all different. They're amazing. So just more,
Oh, wow.
yeah. So, and then of course, all the geometric motifs, designs, animals, flowers, everything, they have their own symbolism that goes back to my mythology. So here's some birds.
Oh, those are adorable. I love those birds. Those are great.
They're so fun. I think I'm getting to the ends of my wheat peels, but
Okay.
you can see that this one's like made out of a heavier
Yeah.
material.
Yeah.
And then, so you can see also how the traditional like the wheat peel. So the women wear the wheat peels, but then these are like what the men in this village wear too. So
Gotcha.
yeah. Oh, last minute. Well, I think this is my last wheat peel. I just really wanted to show the variety and diversity of them. So this is the a diagram. Well, it's a photograph and then illustrations of the traditional Guatemalan garb, which is called the traje, which basically consists of a blouse with the which is the huipil, and then a skirt, a belt that holds it all, and then a rebozo, which is for the weather or carrying things, and then they also wear a headdress. So, and these are illustrations that were made in the mid 20th century of yeah, basically the different locales and how the people dress in Guatemala. So just kind of illustrating. And this is a photograph in our collection from the mid 1990s, so they still are dressing that way. Um, these are some of the skirts that we have in our collection from Guatemala that would be paired with a huipil.
Oh, wow. So is the border on this, is that woven into the textile or is that also embroidered?
It's woven in. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Yeah. Um, Oh, okay. So now we're on to some shirts. So the shirts from Paraguay. This is also from the majority of our collection is from the mid 20th century. So this is from like the 1950s. So when there was a coup in Paraguay, and when the borders were closed, the women started making this fabric, which is called manta, and it's just a loose weave handmade cotton. So
Mm.
it's actually become like I'm sorry to go back. Let me see. Yeah,
Oh, no. I love
yeah,
the embroidery on them.
yeah. So, and this department store is still there. You can look at their stuff online if you want to. Here's one from Mexico. I like
Excellent.
this one. It has these like special buttons. They're plastic, but they're made to look like bone or wood or something.
Yeah, those are great, and the embroidery is really wonderful. The motif in it and the color. That's a beautiful shirt.
Yeah. So, and then the classic Cuban guayabera,
I
which
love a guayabera, as we talked about before. They're one of the most comfortable shirts. They're just so comfortable. I had one years ago that was this lovely mint green that I missed desperately. I wore it to death.
yeah, they're so comfortable, especially with those four pockets.
I know.
Okay. Oh, so this is kind of a selection of the dresses that we have from Mexico.
Hmm.
Um,
Talk about the center one. That the shape at the top is really interesting. Is that just a long rectangle that's folded over and then the skirt is gathered onto it?
exactly, that's exactly what it is.
Is it completely open under the arm? That looks like it's very free
It,
open.
it's not open under the arms; they are closed sleeves.
Oh,
Yeah. So it's 100% cotton, and then the golden part is embroidered on top of it.
these are gorgeous.
Yeah, so colorful. So this is the national dress of Puebla, Mexico, and the shirt is silk. And then the skirt is mostly cotton, but it has like satin um, touches on it and lots
Right.
of sequins. Yeah.
Those really large roses are gorgeous, really beautiful on the
They are,
blouse.
yeah. And you can see that this blouse has been loved and worn.
Oh yeah. Yes, absolutely. Oh, there are lots of sequins on that skirt. You are correct.
Yeah, lots of sequins. So it's actually an eagle. The design on this skirt is actually an eagle.
Uh,
Yeah. So, and then um, we're kind of on to dance regalia now.
hmm
So all over Latin America, they have a very long tradition of performing costume dances. The dances themselves are usually a narrative that tell a story, usually from mythology, but a lot of the dances have been combined with Christianity to form like a third unique dance. So on the left is a photograph from the 1930s of a group of costume dancers in Mexico. And then
Oh
I
wow.
have the tiger. So you can see here in the center is a tiger. And then I have in my collection, I have this tiger mask. And then this is an anklet that would be worn also to create music. And then we have this like little doll of a fully costumed dancer.
That's amazing. I love that mask. It's so fully formed and shaped. What are the whiskers? Are they like porcupine quill or
Yes, they are made out of porcupine quill.
oh awesome. And
Yes,
so where in the
the tusks are real teeth also.
oh are they? Oh cool.
Yes,
That's fun. That's
from
cool.
some animal. I mean, not a tiger, but from some animals.
What is it
Yeah,
made of? Is it made of wool, wood, or paper mache?
it's made out of wood.
Oh cool. Awesome.
So again, I was talking about how there was a long tradition of masked dances in Latin America. So this is a pre-Columbian piece of ceramic that illustrates the full regalia of a masked dancer that would have um, like been here before Columbus. So this is the mask. This ceramic is the representation of a masked dancer of a fish. So
Wow.
they embody different animals and also different characters.
That's gorgeous. I love the sculpture of this and the what's going on. What is he holding some sort of noise making device or is that some kind of glove covering his hands?
It seems like when you look at the piece of ceramic that his sleeves come down, like he has bell sleeves
Oh.
on that have the texture, the fish texture on them.
Oh, interesting. So there's a so I mean, because that tradition is also in Asia, things that cover the person's hands and long sleeves. So that's really fascinating. I love that this is also two pieces that the mask comes off of this.
Yeah. It's so interesting because it's a model of a masked dancer even when they were contemporary to this model. So they're very interesting. We don't know. I mean, this was found in a tomb, so it's possible that they needed the other characters of the dance to go into the afterlife with.
Do you have more of these sorts of figurines?
We have quite a large pre-Columbian collection, but this is definitely the best example we have of a masked dancer.
Very cool.
So, and then I just wanted to share with you some of our more interesting and elaborate masks. This one on the left is a scorpion mask, but it also has a skeleton on it. And then these tiny scorpions that you see are attached to it. So
hmm
the person would wear this and it would be a big headdress.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. This one is a caiman, and this is a mermaid, and they're worn around the waist.
Huh.
So, and then we just have this very realistic mask of a European. It's probably of a specific person, but it has glass eyes.
Oh wow, how creepy.
Yeah,
How big is the merman? Like, how big are the things? Like, how do you know what the dimensions are? If they're worn around their waist, that they look pretty large.
they are fairly large. They're made for smaller people to wear, but the mermaid is probably like 40 inches long. Caimans and the mermaid are about the same size. The scorpion is very, very large. It would be heavy to wear on your head, and they're made out of wood. Um,
Wow. Oh, that scorpion is fantastic. I totally want it.
I know.
It's awesome. Oh,
Yeah.
the claws are so realistic. Look at those. That's really cool.
Yeah, and her babies cut like they carry their babies on their back, scorpions do in real life. So it's just fun how the really how her babies will remove from the helmet too.
Oh, and the eyelashes on the eyes. They're so awesome.
They are so fun.
She is a very glamorous scorpion.
Yes. Yes. Okay. So, and then here are some of our demon masks.
Oh,
Just again trying to represent the diversity of what we have in our collection.
mm-hmm.
And all of these are made of wood.
Those are amazing.
The green one has again real teeth. This guy on the upper left also has real teeth, real tusks from some animal.
Mhm. I like the black and white one that's on the far right on the top. My right. So that is really cool. It has like the markings on it, the teeth. It's so expressive. I mean, all of these are um, really fascinating.
Yeah, the one that you're talking about would have been painted first and then carved to reveal the white wood underneath. It's a, like a relief mask. It's very interesting.
Oh wow, very interesting. I
Yeah.
assumed that was all painted, that it was black and then white painted on top. But so if
Yeah.
you flip it over, do you see the white wood on the inside?
Yes.
Oh wow, cool.
And then we have some old men, viejitos. This is a very popular dance in Mexico, so we have a pretty wide range of these masks too. And then this guy just have a picture of the dancer wearing the mask so you can see how it
Those are
looks.
great. I like the kind of this one. I kind of like.
This one in the middle is actually made of a coconut. So that's
Oh,
how it gets
nice.
its hairy appearance.
That's awesome. And
Yeah.
it also adds to the texture of the skin because it's so like coconuts have such a rough or cut in skin. That's really fascinating.
Yes.
Like in other places around that have a long history, other cultures that have a very long history of mask dance, are these stock characters in this dance tradition that then come in and have some sort of thing that happens within the story, or do we see the same character repeated, or are they all just very different characters throughout the body of um, the literature of the mask dance, or for lack of a better term?
Well, the answer is both.
Mm,
Um, there is because Christianity kind of came in and superimposed itself on a lot of the dances. A lot of the characters, like this particular mask here, are the same, but a lot of the dances are regional and they go way back to pre-Columbian times. So, and then there's this third alternative where a lot of the dances like were combined where it was the old and then they superimposed the new on top of it to make a completely new like third kind of dance. So the answer to your question is yes and no. But the dances take place on calendar holidays,
hmm
both ancient calendar and the contemporary Christian calendar. So whatever dance you're seeing on whatever day, it would be that same dance every year, telling that same story on that calendar day every year.
Right, right, gotcha. Is
So
this
did I answer
okay?
your question?
Yes, yes, actually.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'm gonna guess, is this a three-faced mask?
Yes, this is a helmet mask. And the characters on it are actually like Judas, Death, and the Devil. This is for a Holy Week dance.
Hmm
So this dancer would rotate the mask depending on which character he was assuming in the dance.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. These guys are called dwarfs. They're huge. They're from Guerrero, Mexico. They're carved from one solid piece of wood. They're very heavy. Um, we have like about 15 of these in our collection.
Those are
They're really
fantastic.
special.
Those are fantastic. They have a very Neptune-like quality to them, like uh the big curls and the sort of snake-like mm, quality to the beard and the hair is really fascinating.
Yeah, I agree. They're so intricate. So this is one of the few intact costumes that we have. The suit is made out of leather, and then the skeleton is painted on top of it, and then the little skeletons are made of wood. And the mask is also made of wood, but then it has animal hair attached to it. We think it's probably horsehair.
That is fantastic. I totally love this. This is awesome. I love the three dimensionality of it and the different skulls on it. And do all the skulls smile at you? That's really kind of creepy and wonderful.
Yeah. And they're all unique too. They're all different from each other, all the skulls are. This is also from Guerrero, Mexico.
You know, and then the mask itself is so interesting with the little flop of hair that comes around. That's really interesting, and the teeth, like super cool, really, really ghoulish but alluring at the same time.
Yeah. So my intern wants me to stress, they say that this is very important, that we are having a very hard time researching this particular costume because of the commodification of Dia de los Muertos. So whenever we go to research this, all we can find is Dia de los Muertos stuff, but we know that this actually predates the popularity of that holiday.
Oh, wow. So if there are any scholars out there who are, needing an extra project or have any information about this, and there are a couple of you I know who do research in this area, I'm looking at you. Be mindful and reach out to Laura. We'll share her contact information at the end of this. But this is really fantastic. Do you have any idea of what time period this is from?
I don't know. Our best guess is maybe from the 1920s.
Oh, wow.
So
How did you, this is such an unusual piece. How did this come to the museum? Was it a gift, a donation?
yes, everything in our collection was donated. So I'm not actually sure of the patronage of this particular piece. It came before I did, and there just isn't very much on it.
That is so common with so many collections that the documentation is very scarce of early donations. Really very cool.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites. Oh, here's some more stuff from Mexico. I just wanted to share this beautiful it's satin vest, and then it has this beautiful eagle beadwork on it. And then this satin shirt is worn underneath it and has the little monogram for Emilio on it.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's very sweet.
Yeah.
That embroidery, is it embroidery or rhinestoning? What is the eagle? Or is it
It's beadwork.
beadwork? Thank you.
Yeah.
That is just spectacular.
And then again, another mask for another dance. So this mask and this headdress would be paired with each other for this particular dance. Um, it's a dance that mocks wealthy landowners. So I just think it's funny. And I love the feather headdress too.
I love this. This is fantastic. The expression on this mask and the nose they're just amazing. And then that's hilarious.
Yeah. So most of these dances are still performed in Mexico. Depending on the region, you can go and see them. Oh, and then molas. You would ask about molas. So we have quite a mola collection. And so I
And
just, again, just put up a bunch of slides to try and show the scope of our collection.
oh,
Um,
so wonderful. I love Mola so much. It's the work is so incredible and beautiful um and just thinking about the technique involved of the numerous layers in order to like cut away and gut it and then stitch it down and to create these very perfect, interesting designs. It's so amazing.
it is so amazing. It's like you said, they're created using a reverse applique technique where they actually sew the 7 or 8 or 10 layers of fabric together first and then go in and cut out and just use very fine stitches to sew the top layers in place.
Do you work with any Mola creators currently? Any Mola artists currently?
No,
Hmm,
all of our molas are were bought by tourists in Panama.
gotcha.
Yeah, unfortunately.
That would be a very interesting like weekend seminar.
It would be. It'd be fun to do a workshop and make your own mola workshop. It would be really fun.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, this is
Um,
very cool.
so the molas came from the tradition of body painting. They are still like for adornment.
Hmm.
So these are two pieces from our collection from that area, and the figure demonstrates how the body paint was used. And then this is a stamp, and they actually feel like these roller stamps were used for body paint. So it would have been rolled in dye and then rolled up and down your skin. And I just
Oh,
wanted to draw the comparison between this and the molas because they're the continuation.
that's so interesting. This continuation of adornment from directly applying to the body to textile that might be worn or used in some other way, or simply as decorative work. Uh, Plus then the stamp here. That's really interesting. How big is that stamp? That's really cool.
It can be held in your hands. It's probably like 4 to 5 inches long.
Oh wow.
And it would have had maybe like a stick or something through it. It's a cylinder that has a hole through it. So you could put a stick through it and use it like a rolling pin.
Mm, gotcha.
And then just some more molas. I like this one with a feline motif.
Yes, those are
Um,
great.
yeah,
Those are really excellent.
yeah. A couple more molas. I like this one with the turtle on the right. Just very colorful, intricate. I really like this one. It's a mermaid. It's a man holding a mermaid.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so fun.
There's a lot of mermaid. I'm feeling a mermaid theme. What's the mermaid?
They're just very popular in Latin America. They have their own mythology around them, sirenas.
Oh,
I think that they had like legends before and then their legends were superimposed upon by the
mm,
Spanish. But they are similar to sirens. That's why their name is Sirena, where they're not viewed as like good omens. They're viewed as bad luck and,
mm.
and um, yeah, kind of predatory.
So this isn't Ariel we're talking about.
No, not Ariel. No, more like Odysseus's sirens. Yeah, yeah. So, and then this is my collections room. Just
Oh,
this is collections at
wonderful.
Museo. Yeah, so that's kind of the end of the textiles, but I just thought anybody who was interested could look. We have about 4,500 objects that go all the way from pre-Columbian all the way to contemporary. We still have artists making contemporary art for our collection now.
Are you in the basement of your museum?
Yes, you can see in these pictures the rafters over my head. Yeah. So
Do you have any challenges with climate control down there, or is it climate controlled?
it's not climate controlled.
Yeah.
Um, the fact that we're in the basement does help kind of stabilize the temperature a little bit. That we're in Colorado helps with the humidity because we don't really have very many humidity issues.
Yeah.
So, but no, it's not.
Um, are those rolling shelves? That looks awesome.
Yes, we have a set of 8 of these rolling combines. So I
Very
just
nice.
wanted to show you kind of how many masks we have. We have about 500 dance masks.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's impressive. Do you have any duplicates?
We have many different masks that are like, for example, we have probably 35 conquistador masks where they are just all the same iconography, although they're different masks. So we know that that's who they represent for those particular dances where that character is necessary. And then these are my textiles.
Nice.
This in this bin, this is how I store them, and we slowly upgrade to more archival supplies, but the rolls and are all archival and everything. And then down here, we cover them with this cotton when we're not using them to just try and protect them from pests.
Nice. Everybody struggles with space and storage. So, it's great to share because there are people who are here and part of it, and others around the country who grapple with these exact same issues. So, and are always trying to find ways to maximize their storage and and address all of these issues. So thank you for sharing.
Oh, I just had this slide because you said that people like to ask what the oldest thing in our collection is, and so I had this slide, which is these are the oldest things in our collection. They're from the Valdivia culture in Peru. They're about
Wow.
3,500 years old. So I love these. They made thousands of these, and they're individual portraits of individuals. So even
Wow.
though there's thousands of different statues that look just like these Venuses, they're actually representative of individual women,
Wow. That hair is fantastic.
isn't
Or
it?
headdress, whatever that is. Like I love that. It's amazing.
Yeah,
Awesome. Do both men and women dance in the traditional dances?
that's a very good question. I actually think that most traditionally it's men,
Hmm.
and the mask makers themselves are men, and it's passed down. The tradition is passed down patrilineally.
Oh, wow, cool. So you'll have multiple generations of mask makers, over time making these masks. Can you just go and buy them, or how do the dancers commission them, or is there some other sort of agreement, or is like, hey, I need a mask?
Well, for years it was like the traditional role in the village to be this person and to
Oh,
make the masks for the dances. But now it's a combination between they're still making them for authentic reasons and also they just make them for tourists now too because tourism is the biggest economy for these communities.
right, right, exactly. Awesome. What's your favorite piece in the collection? Uh,
I really like our masks. The more we research them, the more just interesting they are. They I mean, they embody a character in a narrative in this particular area that goes way back, that's been modified so many times, and it's kind of like the way that they disguise their old traditions inside of traditions that were imposed upon them by the Spaniards. I just like that kind of onions of meaning and metaphor. I like that.
yeah. Now, mask dances, globally have such really interesting costumes that go with them, and along with the masks, and the meaning and through all of it, and mask work is such a fascinating way of working for a dancer or a performer. Have you had any performers come and do like dances and with traditional masks and costumes at Museo?
No, unfortunately, we don't have any masked dancers come, but we do have folklorico dancers and norteño dancers and things come like that for our events.
That's fantastic. Awesome. Okay, so now you need to do a mola workshop, uh,
Yes,
over a weekend and a dance workshop over a weekend. So I'll help you program. We can do these things together.
yes, I would love that. That would be fun. Yeah.
So are you currently still collecting things for the collection? And what are you actively seeking? Or how are you parsing out what you're collecting and what you're not taking?
We're just looking for good variety in our collection right now. We don't have all the space in the world, so we need to find things that we don't have many of or things that are unique to our collection. But I also collect things that fit into our traveling exhibit program because we have a large traveling exhibit program. So
Oh,
if somebody wants to donate an object that pairs really well with a particular exhibit that we're producing, then we'll accept that object.
so tell me about your traveling exhibit program. What does that do?
We take a traveling exhibit and we put it in public buildings. It's usually libraries, but it has been rec centers or government buildings before. And it just brings pieces out of our collection that would otherwise be hidden and puts them into public view. And it's also completely public. The places are free. So,
Oh, cool. Is that
yeah.
within the Denver region, or do you do this do you share part of your collection and loan it out? If, how far does your traveling exhibit travel?
Right now, we just do the 5 counties in the Denver metro region.
So, okay. So, like, I'm not gonna be like, Laura, I need your traveling exhibit here in Los Angeles.
It is a goal to have a trunk show in the future where we could just send the exhibit and it But as it is now, I do the exhibit and I go and install it and everything. So.
Oh, wow. Cool. Um, there's a comment in the chat box by Vicky Berger. In today's Guatemala, the costume rental business is thriving. Dancers of all
Oh,
ages are able to rent their costumes of Spaniards, Moors, ancianos, and animals. So interesting. So, like, who knew? That's fascinating. I love that.
I didn't know that. That's wonderful.
Um, so, um, do you have any current, like in the Denver area or where of your constituents that you work with, culture bearers who come in and work with either the textiles themselves or do other kinds of workshops? Since I've not been to your museum, I don't really know how large it is.
We do have quite a few workshops and we do run several programs that kind of encompass all of the things in our collection, but also textiles.
Oh,
So,
cool.
yeah.
And how big is the museum? Do you have a permanent exhibition space, and how often do you rotate out? And how many people do you have working with you in your area in textiles?
Well, there's 10 people who work at the museum.
Oh,
We have, yeah, so we're a tier 3 museum, so we're pretty small. We have two permanent exhibit spaces and then one large gallery space which rotates several times a year.
nice, nice. When you are exhibiting, because your geographic region is so expansive, do you tend to do rotating exhibits that focus on one particular country, one particular region, or all encompassing, like a comparative, like mask dances of South America, or, I'm just making things up as we go along here. So
We do
I'm,
both.
oh,
We
cool.
do like historic um, artifact centered exhibits, and we also do contemporary exhibits where we have a theme and the Chicane and Latine artists in the area will make work for it.
Nice, very cool. Um, and um, what was my next question? I am really forgetful today.
That's okay. We also host Latin American artists too. So
Oh, fantastic.
yeah,
That's awesome. It
yeah.
sounds like you have a very active programming in that way too. Where in Denver are you located?
We're located in the Santa Fe Arts District, right by downtown.
Nice.
Yeah.
Um, uh, oh, here's another comment. Joan, one of the viewers, says that the mask and headdress that represents the landowners would scare away your landlord.
Yeah.
I loved how shiny that was. It was so glossy.
Yeah.
Um, and how do you have researchers that come, and how do you engage with researchers who want to come to the museum?
I would I'm always delighted to host anybody who wants to come to the museum, but mostly just have interns now who do my research and I also do a lot of the research.
Nice, awesome. Um, Laura, this has been so fantastic. I've really enjoyed this. We're just wrapping this up. Do you have anything you'd like to share? Any questions?
No, I'm just so thrilled that you invited me. Thank you for having me.
When I came across your website as I was working on other things, I was like, what is this? This is amazing. And particularly as a costume designer, I love that you have not just textiles and garments, but also costumes that talk about the whole range of performativity of the human experience. And says, thank you very much. What a wide range of objects to admire. So, yes, so, Laura, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.
And the next time we are in Denver, Colorado, we all need to stop and go to the Museo and check these things out. And if you are doing research, it sounds like a great place for those of you who are in Colorado and have students who need projects.
Yeah.
So, um, and oh, actually, do you take interns? Do you do like a summer intern program with students and things like that?
Yes, I always have interns. do lots of different kinds of internships. So I'm very flexible.
So with that, we will say farewell, but I have a little thing to say. Thank you again, everyone, for coming and enjoying this hour with Laura Beacom from Museo. And we would like to thank you for attending. Please follow the Costume Society of America on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube, where our videos will be posted. And to make sure that you hear about all of the upcoming episodes of Conversations on Dress. And lastly, if you enjoyed today's content, we implore you to make a small or an enormous donation to keep the content free and ready for all. Thank you all so much for coming. And Laura, thank you one more time. It's been such a pleasure. Have a good evening, everyone.